Hare Krishna. Welcome you on our Discover Yourself session 6, and the last session is part 2. And we will discuss today about if God is one, then why has so many religions? We'll start with a small kirtan, and then we'll go on to our session. Okay. Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallava Givaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallava Givaradari Sodanandana Braja Jana Randana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Randana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Randana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Randana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallava Givaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallava Givaradari Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Maya Mohan Sasi Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Maya Mohan Sasi Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Mai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Hey Krishna, thank you all for coming along today, and we are actually in the last session of Discover Yourself. So we have come through a long way, nearly 6 weeks. And today's 7th week, we are discussing about Discover Yourself. As we discussed earlier, we have been discovering a lot of things in our life, but we give a very less time to discover our own self. So thank you all for joining again and coming along a long way to understand what our own self is, who we are, and why this creation has been made, and why there will be different living entities, maybe animals, why the plants, trees, who made this creation, and all these things. We are on the very last stage now. We have been gone through a long way, understanding very Hare Krishna, Lara Mataji. Thanks for coming today. So we will discuss today that if God is one, then why there is so many religion. And today's second part, we will be just covering a brief on what we discussed last week. Then we'll go to the next one. I hope you can see my screens. Okay. So in the part one, maybe last week, we discussed many things. Let's go quickly. We understood about 4 eternal truths. That is, I'm not everything, God exists. And that we reference get from Bhagavad Gita chapter number 2.2 and chapter 10, 12, and 13. And then we understood about this body is not all in all, soul exists. And for this, actually, we have taken one whole session that who am I? We are not this body, we are the soul. That reference we get from chapter number 213 and 220. And then we discussed about this life is not all in all, reincarnation exists. And for reincarnation, we understood in a very elaborate way how reincarnation works and why it happens and it exists. Some people say this life is everything, nothing else is there. But we understood how reincarnation exists. We took an example of Ian, who actually has done more than 3,000 of cases, studies about reincarnation. And then the fourth one we discussed about this world is not all in all, and we have actually spiritual world. We try to be happy in this world, but somehow or other we are being kicked by the Mother Nature for some troubles every now and then. And then we understood that actually there is a spiritual world where happiness is always eternal. There is no need of any lights or sun to get illuminated. And that happiness is actually spiritual happiness. And we can be there and be always happy by going back to that spiritual world. And then we discussed about there are so many religions, which way to go, how to choose this religion. See, we have been born in some because of some other things. We have, let's suppose someone born in Hinduism, so he has to follow Hindu. Someone is born in Christian family, so he's following Christianity. Someone is born in Muslim, so he's following Muslim Islam. But when we look onto whole scriptures, then we have an option to choose what way to go. And that we discussed like that all the religions are bona fide. Whatever religion we follow, they are bona fide. And even once one of the airport, Prabhupada been asked that do you came to teach us some other religion? Prabhupada says if you are a Christian and if you can follow your Christianity properly, then you are doing good. And Prabhupada asked him a question, are you following the religions very well? And the man was blank. That's the thing. So whatever the religion is, if you follow it in a very authentic way, we might elevate to the next world. And then we discussed about important thing that whatever we are discussing today here, it's not sentimental. It's all discussing about the objective criteria of choosing religions according to the scriptures. And then we understood which religion to choose from a supermarket of the religions. And then we understood that Islam came 10 years back, 100 years back, and Christianity came 1,000 years back. And then the Bhagavad Gita, Sanatana Dharma, actually is eternal. And the religion Krishna established 5,000 years back as well. And we understood about the three most important criteria to choose a religion. The first one is how much truth is being revealed. As we discussed, Jesus Christ told that there is so much thing I have to reveal you. However, you won't be able to bear it. That's why he didn't speak much about that. That's why he says, I am Son of God. That's it. There is so many truth is there, but depending on the time, place, and circumstances, we won't be able to grasp it. That's why the revelation of truth has to be taken care how much is being revealed. But in Bhagavad Gita, on the same contrary, in 7th chapter, Krishna says that Arjuna will tell you the knowledge of this material world and spiritual world. By knowing this, there is nothing else to be known. So once on the one hand, Jesus Christ told that there is something I need to tell, but you won't be able to grasp it. On the other hand, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I will give you the knowledge by knowing that there is nothing else to be known. So see the revelation of truth, how much truth has been revealed. And then we understood about different platforms of worship, like people worship because of fear, because of desire, and because of beauty, and because of love. The love is the topmost one. And then we understood about the essential principle of all religion. I'll go to this point again actually today to make this more clear, how all religions are actually on one basis. However, they follow some different principles. That is different thing. And then we understood who is God. So we will elaborate more on this who is God today as well. So this is the third point where every religion believes that God is one and we have to love God. Second, every religion says obeys Lord's law. So whatever the God has given the law, we have to obey it. We should obey it. And every religion says we need to service to God. We need to serve God. And then everyone wants to go back to the kingdom of God. Every religion suggests that we should not be doing any sinful activities. We all also took this point, like how glories of names is there. Even in Islam, it says 10 names of Allah should be chanted. And Jesus Christ, his name is the one actually is eternal. And in our Vaishnava tradition, we chant the holy name of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told us that no, by just chanting this holy name, we can actually go back to spiritual world. We can realize who Krishna is within our heart, and then we can go back to Godhead. And then we understood about every religion, they say about some sacrifice and some renunciation, and in that we all also follow as well. The last, every religion says that we need to approach a spiritual master. The spiritual master approaching is very, very important in our life, because as being said in chapter 4, so just by approaching a spiritual master, inquire submissively about the truth, and as they have seen the truth, they will be able to enlighten us with the truth. And even when we pray it, we say that okay, no, spiritual master, he actually enlightens us with the torch of knowledge, by which the ignorance of our art goes away. Right. We'll start today. If God is one, then why so many religions? Part 2. Om Jnana Timrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuru Unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarane. Namo Mahavadamya Krishna Prema Pradate Krishna Krishna Namine Gaurati Visanama. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So before we start, if you have any question in the middle, I would say you can note it down, or you can type it here and discuss at the end. Right. Today we will be actually discussing about 3 main points. Worship according to modes. And then we'll discuss about who is supreme. Is the supreme person is a person or impersonal? And what to practice. So these are the topics of discussion of today. So 3 modes. So we are actually bound by these 3 modes. Now what are these? It's called as sattvic or goodness. Goodness means what? Like objective is Devata, like Brahma, Shiva, Ganesh, Durga, and the goal is to have desire in a mode of goodness. And the designation or destination we get is actually heavenly planet. And the second is called as rajasic or passion. We'll elaborate on each step by step. And here the object is actually yaksha, rakshasa, and humans as well. People sometimes they believe they start playing to human being as well. Like mostly in India, a person who is actually going to gymnasium, he starts praying to Lord Hanuman. Okay, Hanuman is actually he is having a good build, and on the other hand, he also prayed to Bruce Lee as well. He's saying, okay, because Bruce Lee has very nice physique, so I'll pray. So that is in this category. And the destination of this is basically in the earthly planet or to lower planet, hellish planets. And then call it tamasic, or tamasic means ignorance. Ignorance is basically darkness or laziness. The people who are in the mode of ignorance, they actually pray or worship to ghosts and spirits, and their destination is hellish planet. You see these 3 categories in the sattvic. When we are in mode of goodness, we actually elevate from earth to heavenly planet. And when we are in rajasic, either we will be on the earthly planet or we'll go to hellish planet, but we can't go to heavenly planet. But when we are in tamasic or in ignorance, we actually go to hellish planet. Right. Let's see. So before that, understand that these three modes always act on everything, whether on time, on persons, on day, food habit, everything. Even in, if you go to chapter number 17 and 14, Krishna explains everything over there in these two chapters, how each activity, even giving charity, can be in goodness or passion or ignorance. Even working for in our daily life, that can be in mode of sattvic, goodness or passion or ignorance. Even anything, sacrifice can be in mode of goodness, passion or ignorance. Even in say man also, even in when our thoughts can be in mode of goodness, mode of passion and mode of ignorance as well. And even if you go to animal category, the cow, they are in mode of goodness. The tiger, they are in mode of passion. And the owl and the jackals, they are in mode of ignorance. So ignorance people, they actually awake in the night, and owl can't see in the day, but he is awake in the night. So what happened actually, as a living entity, these three modes actually always act on us, but some point of time, one is dominates us. For example, when we get up in the morning, and normally the daytime from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. to like 10 a.m., it's called as mode of goodness. And at that time, we are actually very calm, and when is being said that, if you study or do your good thing in this morning time, you will understand it very properly, because those more are very mode of goodness. After that, we have all experienced that from 10 a.m. till 5 or 6 p.m., we actually run. That's called as passion. We're actually running towards our work, running for the money and everything. At the end, after 6 p.m. till midnight or till 2 a.m., that's called as tamasic or ignorance, because after that we come from office tired, either watch TV, and then or people, they are interested, they go to pubs, they drink, and they indulge in sex life and sleep, and that's called as mode of ignorance. Even our daily life can be in these three, always in these three, but sometimes one get dominate over the other two. But we are always a mixture of these three. Let's see more on that. However, scripture suggests that we should always try, as we are, human being, we have the intelligence, we can think something better. Animals can't think. So we should be utilizing our thinking power, so that we should try always to rise from one mode to goodness. If you think that my activity is actually ignorance, I am lazy, I am sleeping, we should try to bring that into mode of goodness. If we are not well, then sleeping might be a best. But if we are well, still sleeping lazily is useless. So utilize the time, go on to goodness. You do some good work. If we are in a passion, then also we should try to think how can we go into mode of goodness. Right? Because the destination matters. The destination of heavenly planet actually can be gone by the goodness or by passion and ignorance. The scripture suggests, Bhagavatam suggests, should be going towards Shuddha Sattva. It means what? Pure goodness. And the destination of pure goodness is actually spiritual planet. So heavenly planet is one thing, spiritual planet or the Golak Dham of Krishna, that's another thing. That's away from this material world. Heavenly planets comes in this material world, but spiritual planet doesn't comes in material world. So when we are in pure goodness, we can go back to our original home. And that can only happen when we try to elevate our own self from ignorance to goodness, or from passion to goodness. And the Puranas, there are 18 Puranas, and the Puranas are also divided equally. 6 Puranas are in Sattvic, 6 are in Rajasic, and 6 are in Tamasic. The people who want to worship ghosts and spirits, for them as well, some tantric vidyas are there, how they should perform to get more power. And the one who want to be a devotee, who want to go back to Godhead, there also Puranas are there. Srimad Bhagavatam, which explains about how we can be into pure goodness. Right. So that is how it is characterized. And for each modes, there is a predefined deities. Like, for mode of goodness, Lord Vishnu is a controller for that. Rajasic or passion, Brahma is there, Lord Brahma is there. And for ignorance, Lord Shiva is there. But understand that it does not mean that Lord Shiva is ignorant or he comes under this thing. It's not that. He actually is managing a department. That's it only. But he is not in ignorance. So now we'll take understood about these three things. Let's go on to more. What we should be worshipping. Purana describes the worship for people in different modes. That understood about three modes. The people in a mode of ignorance, actually, they are fond of mental propensity towards Lord Shiva for benedictions like Bhomashur and Vitashur. The nice story comes in Srimad Bhagavatam about Bhomashur. What happened? Once a Bhomashur, he was a demon, and he did some very austerity to please Lord Shiva. And he could please Lord Shiva. And once Lord Shiva came, he asked for benediction. So he told that I want to be the owner of this world, and I wish that whomsoever head I would touch, that person should become ash. He should just burn out and become ash. That's it. And then Lord Shiva says, okay, tathastu, benediction given. And what happened? The Bhomashur started running after Lord Shiva. The desire to enjoy Mother Parvati. We thought, okay, now I have got the boon. So I'll put my hand on the head of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva will become ash and I will enjoy it. And Lord Shiva started running from here and there. And behind it, Bhomashur is running. And Vishnu saw it. He said, oh my God, what's happening here? And then he came in the middle. He interrupted that journey of Bhomashur. He said, why are you running behind Lord Shiva? He said, I have got this boon. And then Lord Vishnu, he came as a 5-year-old boy. He said he laughed on him. You don't know, many a times Lord Shiva's boon doesn't work. He said, what are you saying? Yes, right. So how can you try? So he said, Lord Vishnu said, you can try on your own self, put your hand on your head, and I can guarantee you won't become ash. And that's proof that it doesn't work as well. But as soon as he put his hand on his head, he became ash. That's how Vishnu saved him, Lord Shiva as well. Then people, they actually go for very severe tapasyas, like cutting and piercing the flesh and putting on the fire sacrifices to please this. And we have seen Ravana. He was demon. Ravana, being so learned, actually he was demon. He was putting his head for the sacrifice to please Lord Shiva. And in many of the people, they think that, okay, because we are worshippers of Lord Shiva, they start indulging in all kind of alcoholic things, right? Even people, they start offering animal and chickens sacrifice of Kali. That is that person how they worship in mode of ignorance. And then comes mode of passion. Here, the people, they performed out of hankering for honor, for desire of material assets, and in a more competitive mentality, and they want to become the ultimate enjoyer. Like Kashipu wanted to become enjoyer of this whole three world by killing Vishnu, because Lord Vishnu actually, by avatar of Brahma, he killed his brother Hiranaksha. He wanted to get revenge. In a mode of revenge, he actually did very, 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 very severe austerity, and by that he pleased Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma gave him the boon that no one will be able to kill you in these conditions, like not in the day, not in the night, not by the weapons, or not by any persons who actually being created by Brahma, but Lord Nrsimhadev is not a creator of Brahma is not a creator of Nrsimhadev, so Nrsimhadev could kill him, and he killed by his nails and by keeping all the boons what Lord Brahma given to Hiranyakashipu. That is the people who they worship Lord Brahma for getting more desire fulfilled in a mode of passion, like they wanted to become higher of everything. And then comes the worship in a mode of goodness, like in a Lord Hanuman, he worshipped Lord Rama. And we have seen so many examples, like Pad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, they are actually worshipping Lord Vishnu in a mode of goodness, because the deity of goodness is Vishnu. So the Shastras actually recommends worshipping of Vishnu, Rama, or Krishna. Worship performed simply by offering tulsi, flowers, fruits, and water with love, as recommended in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says in 9th chapter, Patam pushpam patam toyam. He doesn't want our flesh to be cut and put in the sacrifice. He said, just you can give me a leaf, and the best leaf is tulsi leaf. You can give me some flowers, and you can get flowers in garden. You don't have to pay very much as well. Fruits is very easily available, and even if nothing is available, you can just give me water. But the condition is what? With love and devotion. Anyone who gives me flower, fruits, water with love and devotion, I accept it. And once Krishna accepts these foods, he actually purifies our heart. Bhagavatam sloka comes up, Krishna, by with love and devotions can be bound, and once he comes in our heart, he starts purifying the heart, so that all the lust, greedy things, and anger, it goes away, and by that we can go back to Krishna's sloka. And the very important thing is that by the guidance of a pure devotee or senior devotees or spiritual master, we actually can overcome these three modes. Even Krishna says, chapter 7, this material world is actually very difficult to overcome. It's very difficult to overcome this ocean. However, once you surrender unto me, he can just jump on without knowing as well, because that ocean becomes just half print of a calf, and we can jump very easily. That is how the benediction of Krishna is given to us. There is a nice examples. You see, we discussed about Ravana, we discussed about Hiranyakashipu. When Ravana was given boon by Lord Shiva, Hiranyakashipu was given a boon by Lord Brahma, and on the other hand, Prahlad Maharaj was given shelter by Lord Vishnu, or precisely we can say Lord Nrsimhadev for him. See, these two were actually, by getting boon, they started doing some demonic act. But Prahlad Maharaj was being given so much trouble from his father, still he never thought of any envy of his father. He always tried to teach his father that, okay, father, actually, the best is to take the shelter of Lord Vishnu. But as he was demon, he wanted to get killed. So that's the other thing. But Krishna or Vishnu saved him at every step to Prahlad Maharaj. He gave protection to him. That is how we can understand from the script that best is to worship the forms of Vishnu. Maybe we can read some devotee, they are attached to Lord Nrsimhadev, some are attached to Lord Rama, some to Vishnu, some to Krishna, but these are all in the same. And some are attached to Lord Jagannath. So these all are same, and we'll discuss it on our last section. That is how it is. Just by offering a small flower, fruits, we can get the love of Krishna as well. And now the second topic comes as that very important is God personal light or energy? Some people say whatever we see actually it comes from impersonal light, or we sometimes call it Brahmajyot. So nothing is beyond Brahmajyot. Everything is that impersonal light, and whole the creation is comes up in the Brahmajyot. And when we are liberated, or when we go to moksha, we go back to that light. Nothing is beyond that. But that conception is actually not complete conception. We'll take some examples to understand that is right. We'll understand it. Before going ahead, I would request you to please note that whatever we are discussing here is not my personal opinion. It actually came from all scriptures, from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So when it says if you want to study Upanishad, the best one to study about Gita, Bhagavad Gita, but Bhagavad Gita I call as Gita Upanishad. It means all the essence of all Upanishads that comes in Bhagavad Gita. And if you want to study Puranas, and the best Puranas to study is Bhagavad Purana or Srimad Bhagavatam. So the best of Upanishad and best of Puranas, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and we will be discussing some examples and points from those two scriptures to understanding about God is personal light or energy. All right. Let's take an example. The example of Microsoft. So I'll go to the next slide actually to understand more. So well-managed MNCs with operations around the whole world, isn't it? The company is established in Canada, in US, in UK, in Europe, in Asia, and Australia. But the owner is only one. And the owner, when he is a material, he cannot be at every place at the same time. He will be only at one place. However, because of his influence, he said, okay, this is actually a company of a person. Someone is actually leading that company. We'll see it next slide. How is that? In the similar way, the whole creation actually is being made by Krishna's energy. And Krishna is there in every spark. And even in chapter, I think chapter 9 or 10, there Krishna says that whatever you see, the whole cosmos is just a spark of my splendor. Just imagine it, how amazing the world would be. He's saying it is a spark of my splendor, right? As we understood about that. So behind all this, there is a person running and managing it. Even when we go into the office, we said, okay, this actually is a company of Bill Gates. We might not see Bill Gates, but we can assume that, okay, because it's a Microsoft, so somehow or other, hands of Bill Gates is there, right? This is the one way to understand. And the second way is to understand that some person is behind it. Let's suppose you all have seen that bulb, isn't it? Tube light. So as soon as we switch on the light, it glows, right? But we can't say it just glows by its own. A person actually switch it on. That's why we see the glow. However, if you analyze very going inside the tube, you could see actually filaments in the bulb. And that filament is initiated when we turn the light. However, filament cannot initiate by its own. A person is behind there who actually is making switch on and off. Even we are making switch on and off at our home, but if you go back to the electricity, you see there's a huge power station and someone is there who is actually managing that. 1 second, please. Someone is actually managing that power station. In fact, what? Even that power station cannot give light unless until that person's switch it on or off. Normally in India, we see the lights goes on and off. And that's because someone is there who puts it down when there is so much storm or rain so that we don't have any lights, right? It means what? They actually a person behind everything, right? And who is the person behind the gigantic manifestation? We cannot say something light has actually maintaining everything. The solar system is a very, very complex to maintain, and that maintenance is being done by Lord Krishna. Yes, right.
No.
In chapter 15, Krishna says, I myself, he's saying, I myself enter each planet, and by my energy, they stay in orbit. So all the planets, what we see, Krishna enters into the planet, and I become the moon, and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Krishna is saying himself that I actually personally enters into this by his energy. It's like, you see how we can say, and one more example, like sun. Our eyes are not capable of looking at sun. When we look on the sun directly eye to eye, we can't keep that. We have to blink it away. But as soon as we see the sun rays coming inside our home, we could understand that, okay, actually yes, sun has come up in the morning. In a similar way, when we approach to the sun globe, there is sun god as well. So sun can be understood in three ways. As soon as we see the sun rays, we could see that actually sun is there, and we have seen that there is a god for sun, or called as Surya Devata. So three things are still in there. One is the rays, one is the globe itself, and the residing deities. And Krishna says, I remain in my planet. However, by my energy, I enter into each orbit, and that makes this orbit controlled in their own self. It's not easy to maintain this complex thing without someone else. A small company cannot be maintained without a personal or a CEO. How could be this whole gigantic complex constructions can be made? Prabhupada gives one more example to understand this logic. It's basically complex construction. Like an engineer, the head of it, he actually knows each and every part where what's happening, but he personally doesn't work on each bricks. He doesn't go and place all the bricks to make the wall and everything. However, he has every information about each and corner, how it's being maintained. Similar way, Krishna personally doesn't come, but he comes through his energy, and he knows about each and every part, how it's happening. That's what Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. So there are three ways to understand God. The first is called as Brahman. The first stage is effulgence of Lord's body. So whatever we say as Brahma Jyoti, there is actually a light coming from Krishna's body. Krishna is lying behind there, and that light is his body so effulgent, and that light is called as Brahma Jyoti. This is the first step of God realizations. If someone says that Krishna is actually everything has come from effulgence, then we can understand that actually that person is on the right path, but it actually realize the only first steps. There are two more steps to go. And the second steps is what? Is Paramatma, or super soul. And that Lord expands into each living entity, each atoms. Krishna comes up. And we have nice examples to understand this logic. Maybe I'll go on the next slide. It's coming up. But when Hiranyakashipu was actually trying to keep Prahlad Maharaj, then he asked, where is your God? Do he is in the pillar? And Prahlad Maharaj says, yes, he is in the pillar. And as soon as he broke the pillar, Lord Nrsimhadev came from there. So that explains that actually Krishna is actually living in each atoms as well. And then the important part is Bhagavan realizations, or that is actually who is independently existence. He is not controlled by anything, and he is Param Satya. When Bhagavatam explains, he is Param Satyam Dhimahi. The Krishna is the ultimate one. He is the one actually we need to associate with him, love with him. That is the final stage. Prabhupada also gives one more example to understand this logic. So we started with the question that is God a person or a personal light or a energy? The answer is he is all three. However, the Bhagavan realization or the third stage is actually a complete realization. Prabhupada gives example, there is a small village and there were no trains earlier. However, because it got expanded and then the ministers they thought to put railway track on that. 3 persons they came to see how the railway track is, and then the one person, as soon as he saw some sound, because when train comes, we could hear the sound clear before seeing the whole train. And then the person left from there. The second person comes up. Second person, he saw, okay, sound is there. He waited for more time. He could see some coaches coming as well, and then he left. But the third person, he waited till end. What he could see that actually a train means sound, and train means some coach, and he could say that, okay, not only coach, even in coach, people are coming as well. People are staying inside that. So if someone asks the first person how train looks like, 3 person went back to village, and someone asks the first person how the train looks like. The first person says train is, it's just sound. He's not wrong. The second person says no, it's sound as well as it got coach. There's different coach comes in that. He's not wrong as well. But the third person says these two are right, but inside the coach, people have came. They can sit there, they can sleep there, they can eat there. That is called as Bhagavan realization. That is the ultimate final thing. Yes, the train has a sound, the train has coaches, and inside the train, the persons could come up. In a similar way, Krishna's effulgence is called as Brahman, Krishna's expansion is called as Paramatma, and Krishna himself is called as Bhagavan. Right? That is how we understood the 3 steps of God. And the topmost one is Bhagavan. And it's been said, the feature of Bhagavan, the third realization, is actually superior to the two. How we can say he's superior? Again, the same example of sun. From sun globe, sun rays can come, but from sun rays, sun cannot come. If there is no sun, there is no sun ray. We can see if the cloud hides sun, we can't see sun rays. It means what? If sun is there, sun rays are there. But in no instance is there in this world that sun rays exist, but sun doesn't. Getting a point? So sun rays if sun rays exist, means sun has to be there. Without sun rays cannot exist. Similar way, Bhagavan has to be there so that effulgence of his comes up. So without Bhagavan or without the Supreme Self, the effulgence cannot come up. Not even Paramatma as well. Because from Krishna, he expands into each and every living entity and every atoms, every plants, every insects, and he goes inside that. So this Bhagavan realization is the topmost or supreme than the other two. So who should be the object of my worship or our worship? And let's see what our consciousness decision is. So we, as a living being, has a propensity of loving everyone, serving everyone. So if there is a minister or a prime minister, they are actually serving to the nation, to the public. Even a person in the right left bottom, you can see he actually serving to the dog, taking out for his walk, for a stool, another thing, but he's serving to the dog. And the first photo, the top one, is a merchant. He's actually serving to village by providing all the necessary things. And a teacher serving again to the students. So we living beings are actually always serve it. How can you understand it? This logic, why we serve it, right? Why we serve it? It is said that, I think we have understood it in earlier session, substance and shadow, but we'll go again more on that. So the salt's nature is to be salty. If we take out salty from salt, that salt doesn't remain any more salt. We can't say it's salt because it's not salty. The nature of sugar is to be sweet. If the sweet is not there in the sugar, then we won't be saying as sugar. In the similar way, the nature of water is to be liquid. So as we see liquid, we said, okay, water is there. But let's suppose we start making dough and we put so much flour in that, and the liquidity of the dough grows as, and we say, okay, there's now dough for puri or chapati. But that's not no more liquid. We won't say it's water anymore because the liquidity has been gone. In a similar way, the Shastra says, we are the jivas, we are the soul. Jivara Sarup hai Nitya Krishna Das. What does that mean? Jivara Sarup, the jivas, his nature is what? Nitya Krishna Das. He is the servant of Krishna all the time. It means what? We are actually bound to serve. If we don't realize that we have to serve Krishna, then we will be serving other way, Maya. We actually serve at every stage. A householder, maybe someone who is actually earning a lot of money at his home and is taking care of his wife, kids, and everything. He might say, okay, I'm the boss of this house. But reality is that he's actually earning money to serve his children, his parents, his wife, and so on. So we are serving. When we go to our work, we say, I'm actually earning. But actually, we are serving our boss to become more richer. And he is just giving some of to us to enjoy our life. The reality is that we are actually serving it. However, sometimes we serve as a loving, sometimes we serve in a different mood. And when we serve in a loving mode to Krishna, we get the ultimate result. So what should be the object of our love? That being said, see, as I know, a father is loving his children, even the animals, they have the loving relationship with their cubs. And children, when they are play around, they love each other, and that's means that. So conclusion is that we are actually the living entities. We wanted to be loved and love as well. But the thing is that the loving relationships that we have in this world is actually temporary. Sorry to say that, but this actually temporary. How? Again, sorry for that, because as soon as someone leaves his body or achieves the death, all the relationships vanquishes, is finished. Nothing more is there for that. And he gets another body, relationships start building for in another way. But that relationship, what it was there, it nullifies, it becomes zero. But if you love Krishna, then that relationship never goes away. That remains all the time. And that is how it calls Bhagavan. And the Bhagavan has always 6 opulences. It says Aishwaryascha, Samagrascha, Viryascha, Yashasya, Jnana Vairagyascha Iva Annanam Bhaga Nigana. What does that mean? He actually is he can claim that every wealth is his. He can claim that, but no one can claim that every wealth of this world is mine. No one can claim it, but Krishna, he can claim it. And he can claim that he has the topmost strength. No one can surpass him. In a similar way, in fame, in beauty, knowledge, and in renunciation. We understood this in last session as well. So Krishna's actually we should worship him because he is the famous personality, he is the strongest one. He is even renunciate as well because he can become a chariot driver of Arjuna. He can't be bound by the love. Even Mother Yashoda, Krishna is the kind of controller of this whole world. However, with love, by Mother Yashoda. That is the amazing thing. That's what we want. And he is the most knowledgeable person. Every knowledge comes from him. And even Krishna says, all the Vedas are actually there to know me. All the Vedas guide us towards how can we know Krishna. Right. And then Krishna says, I'm the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service. That is the important thing. When we know this, when we understand, read Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, we start developing the relationship with Krishna with devotional service. And then we start worshipping him with our full heart. And then Krishna says, the whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again. And under my will, it ends as well. This is an example how we discussed about at every living entity, Krishna is there as Paramatma. And Krishna says this whole material nature actually is my energy and are under my directions. O son of Kunti, producing all moving, non-moving being. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and created again and again. And as I discussing, this all opulent actually a spark of mine. I discussed this earlier as well. But now, how can you understand that? Okay, if that's everything in Srimad Bhagavatam, even in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says, Ishwara means what? Controller. Ishwara Brahma Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adi Govinda Sarva Karanam. He says the supreme controller is Krishna. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and he is the prime cause of all causes. Anadir Adi Govinda. Everything emanates from him. He is the cause of all causes. That's why Krishna is the supreme being. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva explains that all the incarnations that comes, everything is all good, these parts. However, it says, Ete chamsa kalapumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swam Indrari Vyakulam Loke Hridayanti Yuge Yuge. It means that all the incarnations of Lord Krishna's either binary or portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Krishna is the original, complete, supreme personality of Godhead. That is how we understand that Krishna is the supreme one, most attractive, all attractive one. Even we see that all the great saints, maybe Sripad Madhvacharya, Srimad Ramanacharya, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all have concluded that Krishna is the supreme personality of God. As we believe very well to the scientists that okay, there is a galaxy way or Milky Way, we don't argue with the scientists anymore. In a similar way, the scriptures and the acharyas whom have seen this thing, we should be understanding from them, as we have seen truth and they recommended Krishna the supreme personality of Godhead, so we should be accepting or believing them. Even Sripad Shankaracharya, he summarizes saying, this is actually Gita Mahatmya, nice slokas are there. The seventh one, it says, Ekam Sastram Devaki Putra Gitam, Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva, Eko Mantra Tasya Namani Yani, Karmana Ekam Devasya Seva. If you want to read some scriptures, that Devaki Putra Gita, the song of Devaki Putra, Lord Krishna, is the Bhagavad Gita. And Eko Devo Devaki Putra. If you want to worship a god, then the best one is Devaki Putra, that Lord Krishna. And Eko Mantra Tasya Namanyani. If you want to chant some name, chant his holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And if you want to do something karma, then do service to Lord Krishna. Right? These are the sayings of great personalities. And now we will discuss the third point: what to practice. So it is very simple, not difficult, very easy actually. And there's Srimad Bhagavatam explains about the 9 ways of serving God and reviving our love for Him. It says, Pranam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dashyam, Shakyam, Atma Nivedanam. Pranam means hearing, and Kirtanam means chanting. Hearing from us, bona fide spiritual master, or from our scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and chanting is glorifying Him again. Whatever you hear, say to your friends or chant the holy name. Smarana is remembering Krishna. The Pad Maharaj, the best example for that. He remembered at every instances. Then Pada Shevanam, servicing Him, where Mother Lakshmi Devi actually serves the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. And then Archanam, Prithvi Maharaj, actually worshipped very well. And then Vandanam. Vandanam is a Akrura. Akrura actually is a good example for Vandanam, glorifying of Krishna, appears. And then Dashyam. Dashyam is actually, we can take as Lord Hanuman, or we can, and in Shakyam, become his friend, is actually Arjuna. And Atma Nivedana is fully, completely surrendering. Complete surrender examples goes for Bali Maharaj. So these are the way, actually, we can adopt any one of it or all of it as per our understanding of our capability. But most important is that the first, second, and third one is a Saranam, like in hearing, and the Kirtanam is chanting, and Shevanam is doing service to Lord. These are the most important of that. However, anyone can be done. We can become friend, we can become servant, we can become, fully surrendered. When Krishna says, Sarva Dharma Pratyaja Mam Ekam Saranam Braja. So then you can surrender as that way. Vandanam, glorifying Lord Krishna. Anyone is very nice, but if you want to start with hearing and chanting, is a very, very good way to start with. Once we start hearing and chanting, the other follows by its own. And why these are important, it's being said that by following any of these activities, we get the potency to have love of God, which is actually dormant in our heart. So just by following either chanting or hearing and remembering, serving, we cleaned our heart, and we could see Krishna face to face as well. Right. So before I say one more thing, then one thing is here, I think, is sometimes people think that we can become God as well, or we are God. So at that point, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave an analogy, says, Achinta Veda Ved. That means what? We are actually God in one sense, but at the very second, we are not God as well. It means what? By quality, Chidananda, eternal as well, we are eternal. So in that sense, we are God. But in the second sense, we are not God. How? Because Krishna is actually unlimited, and we are limited. Very easy example is like, gold. Maybe you can see any earrings or necklace of gold. That is gold as well. The quality is a gold, but we can't say that this is gold mine. Gold mine is called as huge. We can find everything there, but the gold earring is very small. We can't even, we can't wear a kg of gold. It may be some grams when we wear it. But when you go to gold mine, we can see kgs and tons of gold over there. In a similar way, Krishna is fully complete, unlimited, and we have limited. But when people say results has, Krishna explained that, Payananti mama mudha. He says, just because of foolish people, because of their foolishness, the ignorance, because of their ignorance, they won't be able to know me. And the other example to understand is, we are forced, we are conditioned by these three modes, but Krishna, he is neither forced nor conditioned. We cannot say that I want to take my next birth in this place, or my parents would be this and this. We can't say it. But Krishna can decide it, where you want to come. Krishna's is Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyada Chatachara, means by my control, this Prakriti goes on. And in that Prakriti, in that nature, by the three modes we understood, passion and ignorance and goodness, this entangles us. But Krishna is not in that. These three modes even cannot entangle Krishna. But these three modes entangle us. And Krishna says in chapter 4, Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Divyam Yevam Yoveti Tata Deham Janma Neti Mamesu Arjuna. Anyone who knows this transcendental nature of my appearance and activities by living body, he doesn't come back to material world, rather attains my supreme abode. That is the proof of from Bhagavad Gita how serving to Lord Krishna is the ultimate thing. Even I was actually reading today in Bhagavatam, there is very nice slokas came up in the today. That says, Kama Sarvo Kamava. It means Kama means if you have no desire of material hankering, or Sarva Kama, or if you want to have full of material desires, your heart is still full of material desires. Things, Kama, no desire, or you have full of desires. Or then next says Mukti Kama, or you want to have Mukti. Kama, Sarva Kama va Mukti Kama Udaradhi. And it says, Tibrena Bhakti Yogena Yajate Purusham Param. Even if you don't have any desires, or you want liberation, or you want to fulfill all your desires, no matter what to do, Tibrena Bhakti Yogena, start doing bhakti. On to whom? Parama Purusha. Today we understood who is the Parama Purusha, to Lord Krishna. So it's good to approach Lord Krishna even if when we want to have a material desires. Right. So now questions comes up very frequently, mostly in India. So who are these demigods? We see, sun god, and then and everything, and who are they? And is it anything wrong to worship them or not? Right. Let's see. No wrong in worshiping them, but the mode has to be correct. So we'll take an example to understand who these demigods or Devatas are. We'll take two examples. This is the first one. It's the administrative structure of a country. We have a sales head, we have a finance head, we have marketing head, we have a country head, we have a defense head, and many more goes on. Right. Then we have finance minister, we have a railway minister, we have home ministers, we have defense minister, agriculture minister, just nominate persons to take care of each activities. Persons cannot When a prime minister cannot handle everything by his own, he just nominate one person to do it. In the similar way, Krishna, he is actually in the spiritual world enjoying. He don't want to engage in this, all these parts. He has nominated it. So structure of universe goes like, electricity is maintained by Lord Surya Dev. Whenever sun god comes up, we could see all the lights. Whole world is illuminated. It doesn't matter who we are. Either we pray to him or doesn't pray to him, it doesn't matter. If we don't pay our electricity bill, they will cut down our power. But if we don't pay or we sensitive to sun god, he won't get angry. Okay, no problem. Take my energy. How merciful they are. Imagine it. Similar with the construction minister, this whole universe is being created by Lord Brahma, and the knowledge is being given by Krishna, Brahma. Similarly, with the water distribution minister is Lord Indra. Indra pour rains, and we can see the very nice Leela, Gordon Leela that happens in Vrindavan for Indra's crushing his proud. And then we say water minister is Varuna Deva, the ocean god. And then we see the power manager, minister is Agni Deva, the fire god. And the wind minister is Vayu, the wind god. Minister, Mother Durga, she actually takes care of this whole material world. And defense minister is Kartikeya. Education minister, Mother Saraswati, we pray to her to give us more, knowledge. Then it's a nice one. Human resource minister is a Yamaraj. He actually picks up and teaches us how we are. We wanted to get increment in our all, professional lives, or sometimes when we don't work well, we are fired from our work, and so Yamaraj takes care of all these things. We do good things, he promote us to heavenly planet. If we do evil things, he demotes to hellish planets. And then the finance minister is the Lord Kubera. He has all the treasure of demigods, And for mental health, we pray to Lord Chandra. And even when Bhagavad Gita says, because of moonlight, we get the juices in our fruits and vegetables. And the list actually goes on. So, Prabhupada says, instead of worshipping all these, it's best to give water on the root. And all these are what? They are actually very, very empowered, very dedicated servant of Lord Krishna. So we don't disrespect them. We have a very much utmost respect to them. However, when it comes for worshipping, we actually worship Krishna. Prabhupada says, as if like, the whole body, right? Hand has some functions. It does its own work. Leg has a work to do working. Eyes for seeing. But when it comes to eating, only our stomachs eats. It digests. Hand doesn't say, okay, I will go into my pot and I will eat something. Hand can't eat. Or leg can't eat. Neither eyes can't eat. So for eating, we have to go there. So once what's happened, all these different parts of the body, they says, okay, mind says, I am working so hard in the office. The hand says, okay, I should type in the office. And the leg says, yes, by my only you go to the office. And they thought the stomach, it doesn't do anything. And whatever we want goes to stomach only. So all this, hand, legs, and mind, they went on a strike. Legs say, okay, I won't go to work anymore. The mind says, I won't think. The hand says, I won't feed to the mouth. And they all are going to strike. After a couple of days, the person is on the bed, fully diseased. He can't wake up anymore because there is no energy in the body. And then they realize actually what, if we feed, then we can get energy. As soon as they feed to the stomach, all the parts can get energy very well. In a similar way, Prabhupada says, all the demigods are actually parts of Lord Krishna. They are very dedicated servant. Even being said, we are Jiva, our servant, but we forget sometime. And most of the time we forget that we are servant of Krishna. But this demigod, they never forget that they are servants of Krishna. In a similar way, when we put water to the roots, or when we put a food to the stomach, all our body get energy. In the same way, when we put water to the trees, all the branches, all the leaves, they get energies. In the same way, if you put or worship to Lord Krishna, they will be satisfied by our own self. Right. And this is a small understanding. You know, with numbers, Krishna is only one, and demigods, there are 330 millions. Post, Krishna is eternal, the Supreme Lord, and the demigods, they are actually temporary and they changes at death. However, their lifespan is very, 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 very long compared to our own life. And the residence is spiritual world, and the residents of demigods are either material world or heavenly planets. And activities is important one, nice one. Krishna's activity is actually to love and serve with unlimited joy, and the demigod, their actually activity is to take care of different parts. And the body is Krishna's eternal, and the demigod is temporary. So that's how I end today here. If you have any questions, you can put me or any comments. Okay.